Hello guys, so let's start with the mock test. I'll solve it orally. At any point of time, if you like to solve, please pause it. For the first question, when I read it, I saw four odd numbers. So I took the numbers as x minus 3, x minus 1, x plus 1, x plus 3. Sum would be 4x, and if that has to be perfect square, 4x by 10 has to be perfect square. So 4 is a perfect square already, x into something, which is 10, should cancel out. So x has to be a perfect square. X plus 3, 64 plus 3, 67, this is what I felt. So 67 might be the number. I marked it. Let's move on to the next one. So this question, it had me, I had a rectangular box. I had to get it in, get 180 identical pans. So I saw that 180, the factors of 180 are 18. I mean 2 square, 3 square and 5. But I wasn't getting the answer, so I skipped it because the number of cuts that I was getting was totally different. Now in this question, when I saw that the string is of 1996 digits, it starts with 6 and every 2-digit consecutive 2 digits taken is divisible by either 23 or 17. So 68 or 69, then 90, obviously 92 because it cannot be divisible by 17. So I ruled out, obviously there were two pairs, I ruled out one pair. The possible pair was 6, 6, 9, 2, 3, 4, 6. So I saw that 6 is again repeating after every 5 digits. The last digit has to be 6. Let's move on to the next one. So what was the highest power of 24 factorial raised to x? So 300 factorial is divided by 24 factorial. Right, so I had to check the maximum power of the largest prime in 24 factorial, which is 23. And the largest power of 23 in 24 factorial is 1. But in 300, it is 13. Hence the answer. 300 factorial divided by 23. Now for this question, in 1732, Shamu was as old as his last 2 digits. So I took a gap of 16. So clearly 1716 was his birth year. He was of 16 years of age at that time, in 1732, that is now. And his grandpa, he must have born in 1600s, something, that is 17th century. I took 1660 something. So if his age is 66 presently, it has to be 1666. And the ages were 66 and 16. So the difference was 50. So none of these. In this question, I can clearly see that one digit is skipped. So out of 10 digits, possible digits 0 to 9, one digit is skipped. So there are 9 digits. I took it to the base 9 and I converted it to base 9, removing 5. Right. So my actual number is in base 9. So I converted in decimal by 6 into 9 raised to 0 plus 1 into 9 raised to 1 plus 3 into 9 cube. The sum comes around 2202 and I marked it. So the number of digits that is skipped, you need to keep that in mind. Now for this question, it was very lengthy. I had literally drained out of by solving 6 questions now, and I thought, okay, let's just skip it and I'll do it later on. So 2 questions were skipped by me at this point of time. In this question, there were 3 statements made. I can clearly see that the last statement, if my speed is x for half of the journey, the entire journey, the average speed for the entire journey can never be 2x. It can never be 2x. So third one is definitely true, right? The first one and the second one. For the first one, I used a calculator. I'm not going to lie. So first one was incorrect because 19 is also a factor. The second one is also false because when I saw the actual calculation, I again used calculator, right? And I got it false. I used a trick. I made the power same. I made the power 1 by 42. This was the trick at least. So only statement 3 was correct. The others were false because it's the vice versa. 7 factorial power was greater. In this question, let us assume Amitabh picks x. Then he gives 2x to Sashi. Sashi gives 2x plus 50. Then again 4x plus 100, but then Amitabh gets 4x plus 150. So the pattern is 2x, 4x plus 150, 2x plus 50, 4x plus 150, 8x plus 350, and 16x plus 750. So Amitabh should win, Shashi should be 16x plus 700 and should be equal to 1000. So again, I used a calculator over here. I checked the value of x. So if 16x plus 700 has to be near 1000, clearly 16x has to be 300. And the possible values of x started from 16, 17, 18. So I checked for 16 and I got it. So the sum of the digits has to be 7. As you can see, this is what I was doing. So it was 940 for 15, but for 16 it was 256 plus 700, 956, which clearly means that Shashi will lose because if he adds 50, it will be more than 1000. And hence the answer was 16. This was a beautiful question, by the way. Had to use calculators. I am using calculators because in CAT you're allowed to use it, but I'm not using pen paper right now. Let's move on to the next one. So in this question, there were, let's say, numbers from 1 to 49. There is a number in between such that it is not exactly in between, such that the sum before the number x and after the number x has to be same. So then the sum of numbers from 1 to 49 is sum of natural numbers 49 into 50 by 2, which is 1225. So it has to be 600, 600, something like that. If I take, I went with the options, obviously I checked 30 and 35, 35 satisfies. Because if I take 34 numbers, the sum was somewhere around 595, and 595 plus 35 is 630, and if I add 595 again, I'm getting 1225. So my answer was 35, the value of x. 595 left hand side, 595 right hand side. This was again a beautiful question, but it clicked me quickly, so it was good. Now, what I did is I went to the questions that were remaining and I tried to, fluke them, which is actually a very bad idea because now I have marked 8 questions and I should be satisfied with that. So it is not, advisable. So the fluke, let's see what happens. So there it is. As you can see, I scored 7 correct. Those 2 flukes were wrong. My total score was 6.25. The topper was 6.75. Imagine if I had not marked them, I would have scored 6.75 obviously. So I would have been the topper. Equalized the topper. Anyways, I hope I've helped you how to attempt the questions and how to skip the questions at what time. Thank you so much. Be with me.